Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I will be talking about everything to do with 4D carbon gels. So I will be showing you guys the different shades I have in my collection, the company that I am loving at the moment, and also I will be showing you guys 3 different nail designs that you can recreate, and I'll be showing you guys that at the end of the video. So first up we have shade number 23, and I think it's this gorgeous neon green. You can definitely make some gorgeous leaves with this one when creating some gorgeous flowers with the other colors I'll be showing. And next up we have color number 9, and as you can probably tell already by the little cap, it is a white, and this one in particular I've already almost hit pan, or I probably have already, and it's just the white, and I've been really loving this one. And you do get a generous 8 milliliters in those, so they will last you quite some time, as this one has lasted me a decent time. So next color is in number 16, and this one is the shade I have that is most blue. I do have another one that I'll show you guys, and it's more on the purpley side, but this one is that in between purpley blue. It's not necessarily a royal blue, it's not a pale blue either, it's kind of on that in between. Next up we have shade number 5, and this one is on the pinky side, as you can probably tell in just a moment when I open that one. And as you can see, it's on the neon side as well, but it's just got that gorgeous pink. I just feel like the colors in these from this company is just so nice, and I would really recommend them. And this color is in the shade number 20, and this is the shade that I was talking about just in a moment ago, about it being more on the purpley side. So as you can see, it's still not that full purple, but it's also not that full blue. It's more on the purpley side, as you can tell. But yeah, that's what that one is looking like. And next up we have the color number 1, and this one is the purple shade in my collection. So we will be using this one later on in the video, and I'll be showing you guys how to create ombres with these little pots. And it was also the first time I did ombres, and so if it was the first time and it worked out, then I'm sure you guys will manage just as much. And next up we have color number 11. So as you can see, it's also on the pinky side. I really recommend this company. It's the company called ENA on AliExpress, and oh my goodness guys, I am in love. And this, as you can see, is a proper neon color. It's a vibrant pink. It's this fuchsia looking pink. And next up we have color number 3, and it's also one of the pinky shades, but this one in particular does scream a little bit of a nude. It's kind of like this muted pink color, so this one is also very pretty. But as you can see, half of those have not been touched as they are brand new, so this is kind of a little bit of like a haul video, showing you guys also the colors. And in just a moment we'll crack on with our 3 nail designs that I would love to show you. So starting off with our first nail, I decided to place down a nude base. So the nude color that I am using is from the company called Cloud Beauty, and it is in the shade N17. You probably all know by now that is my absolute favorite, but in case you don't, it is absolutely a gorgeous nude. I have fell in love with this one, and it's probably my 3rd bottle now, and I will probably need to order some more soon, but it has been absolutely my ride or die. So just a little reminder guys, I will have everything linked down in the description for you guys if you'd like to go ahead and purchase anything. So the 2 layers have been now applied, it went into the lamp, and I am going to do a butterfly on this one. So I've got this long crystal I found in my little collection, and I decided to place that down, and I'm going to use that as the body of the butterfly. And I am placing it at the top of the nail, a bit slanted, because I want it to kind of appear like it's flying off the nail. And I decided to use that neon pinky kind of colour to create the butterfly. So as you can see, I use my dotting tool, and I kind of scrape up as much of that little play-doh-y texture that is inside as much as I want, and then I place it on my hand, and with my other finger I kind of roll it up into a little ball. So once it's into a ball, I place it down where I want it. So for the butterfly, I am placing 2 balls on either side of that little crystal. And this is kind of what I like to do. I really do like to place the 2 balls first before I actually go in to create the petals. That's just because I feel like I have more of a control over it, and just in case one becomes bigger, one becomes smaller, I kind of feel like I've got more control. But if you are a beginner and you don't feel as comfortable to do that, you do not have to. You can just place one little ball down, create a petal, and then go in with another one. I just feel like sometimes I might go off too much with one, make it too big and too out there, and the other one might end up having to be smaller. So So just a little tip. And here I am using my silicone tool and I am dipping it into some nail cleaner almost every time I go in to touch one of those balls. So I do that so that basically the 4D carbon gel doesn't end up being stuck to my tool, and it has been a massive lifesaver. The first time I went in to try these carbon gels, it was a massive nightmare. I didn't have the tools, I didn't have this nail cleaner, or at least I didn't know of this little technique, and it was just a big pain and it just wasn't working as much as I kind of wanted it to. So as you can see, I'm dipping it in, and every time I go off camera I am just tapping onto my hand or trying to get off the access. You don't want it too wet basically. And I am just kind of pressing those balls at an angle, and you will notice that my technique is pretty much the same across all of those nails. So all of those nails, I'm not doing anything different. I am just pressing down and creating a petal essentially. It's just the way you place those balls will determine on how basically it will look. So although I basically created petals here, it does still look like a little butterfly, and it was super easy to do and it looks super cute. So to just finish off this design, I felt like I really wanted to add some more bling and just really make it look like a butterfly. So I'm using my super tiny little AB crystals at the top of the butterfly to just give it its little antennas. And then at the bottom of the butterfly, I decided that it still needed a bit more bling. So I'm going in with my Macart rhinestone glue gel, and I'm kind of drawing out like this swirly line going right to the bottom of the nail and then all the way up to the start of the butterfly body. And then I'm going in with slightly bigger crystals, and I'm just following that little squiggly line I did with that gel, and that's kind of going to be the final look of this nail. So once that's done, that nail will be done, and then the next nail we'll be doing will be a blue nail. And I know a lot of the time people that play about with acrylic, they often do this big flower right in the middle of the nail. It definitely doesn't look just the same, but it's very similar, and I feel like it still looked super nice on the blue background. So I will be attempting that in today's video. So it's I'm sure if you guys are into nails, I'm sure you guys know what kind of nail I'm talking about. But normally they do 3 little petals where the crystals are, and then the one at the bottom and the one at the top. They kind of make it really long, but I wasn't able to do that. I'm not as kind of experienced just yet in those little petals, so I wasn't able to do that just yet. And just quickly, the blue that I am using is from the company called Semilac, and it's in the shade 044, and it's called Intense Blue. So I'm just going in with that, 2 layers as usual, and then we can crack on with our nail design. So for this one, I will be placing 3 big crystals on one side of the nail, and that is going to be the left one for me today. And I just kind of found the biggest 3 crystals kind of in my collection. They're the same size. I'm just doing it down in a line, and then once it gets cured, we will be able to apply some of our petals. So for this one, I decided to use some white carbon gel, which I feel like just made it such a cute little contrast. And also, if you are kind of more experienced and you know your crystals won't move, you don't have to pop the crystals into the lamp before applying the flowers. But just for safety reasons for me, I just don't want anything budging or getting in the way or me messing anything up. I do end up first curing the crystals before I go in with my 4D carbon gels. Or sometimes as well, when I was starting out, I did often kind of like to maybe... Well, the next nail that we'll see in a moment after the blue is going to be that ombre. So we will be applying 3 flowers. So sometimes I did used to like to do a full flower, cure it, go back in again, create another flower elsewhere on that nail. And that way it was just kind of my peace of mind that nothing is going to get moved whilst I'm playing about with the rest of the nail. So that could also be something you can do. Don't feel pressured that you have to do the whole nail without curing it. No. That's kind of the beauty in these 4D carbon gels. So as you can see, same technique. I'm going in with a dotting tool, scraping up as much of that carbon gel as I want, placing it onto my hand, rolling it up into a little ball and placing it on the nail. So as you can see, I created 3 balls on the right hand side of the crystals, and then 1 little ball at the top and then 1 little ball at the bottom. And those are those 2 balls that I was talking about, where normally when you do acrylic nails, a lot of the time those nail techs really elongate those petals and make it look absolutely beautiful. But unfortunately, I'm not yet that skilled, and I've just about mastered those petals, and that's kind of as far as my my skill on executing this kind of goes. So I felt like I didn't want to really go out of my comfort zone, although I did try off camera doing it didn't really work out, and I didn't want to kind of show you guys how to do something where I kind of don't know myself. So the more I play about with them, the more colors I have, the more cool looking designs I can create. And maybe in the future, when I get a bit more experience and I can create some really cool stuff, I might be able to do a super in-depth video on how to do, I don't know, leaves or even one of those little petals. But for now, I've kind of just mastered the one little technique, and I'm going to stick to that one for now. So that was basically that nail design done. So we are now on to our third and last, and this one is the more interesting one because it was the first time I have ever tackled an ombre. So I absolutely love basically looking at acrylic flowers, which is why I kind of wanted to do this or buy those 4D carving gels, because I'm not good at acrylic. So this was basically the second best and probably the most easiest in a way. And so I used to love looking at acrylic nails where they had ombre flowers. So I thought, you know what, why not give it a go and see what we can do ombreing those. So as probably is a main technique, this is kind of as far as I've managed to understand at the moment. So right now I'm just placing 3 little dots of that Macart rhinestone glue where I want to place my crystals, and those crystals are going to work as the middle part of a flower, and then we're going to create petals going around those crystals. It is one of those things where you don't have to do first. What you can also do is, rather than placing the crystal down first, you could do the petals. And then, so kind of imagine where that crystal will be, create the petals around it, and then just place the crystal right in the middle of those petals. It's kind of whatever makes it easier for you. So some people might find that easier. Some people might find it actually harder to put a petal towards a crystal. Some might find that easier. It's all completely up to you and what works best. So you kind of have to just figure it out for yourself when you're starting to play about with those. But just quickly, this is an AliExpress brand. So this is, you could say, on the cheaper end. This isn't anything expensive. And one of these pots costs you probably around £1.50. So I think the price point is absolutely amazing and super cheap for what you get. And yeah, I'm just super happy with them. So as you saw, I picked up some white and some purple, and I just rolled it together onto my hand. And kind of the more you play with it on your hand and kind of squish it down, roll it up back into a ball, the more ombre-like it could be. So you'll see here that when you just roll it, you kind of get that harsh line, but the more you play about with it, the more kind of ombre-like it becomes. This top flower in particular, the 2 balls came out beautifully, and then the third ball also came out beautifully. It was ombre, but I clearly didn't play about with it enough, because when you see in a moment when I press them down, it's just a super harsh purple and white line, and the other 2 are beautifully ombre. So actually for those 2 I got really lucky, because the middle bit of the flower was actually purple and then the outer side was white for both of those, and then that third petal was pretty much the complete opposite. So that was a bit frustrating, but as you can see, there is potential. So, you know, it's just a practice kind of game. If you get a hang of it, that is absolutely amazing. So here I decided to go in with that first flower first before I tackle the rest. And I'm just pressing it down. And as you can see, it's created that gorgeous purpley white kind of flower. And the purple's right at the bottom, and then the white is kind of on the outer side. And then this petal, when I pressed it down, I was like, oh no, the white was the beginning, and then the purple was the outer side, and I was like, oh no. This petal had so much potential, but never mind. I feel like it still looks nice, especially as the next upcoming flowers do end up being a bit random too. So it kind of did end up fitting in, because right now it feels like it's completely like out of place. But yeah, I just really thought it was a really cool little like experiment, I guess, because it was the first time I tried it, and I was quite happy with it. So the more colors you get, also the more creative you can become, hence why I've got all these colors. And as you saw at the beginning when I was showing you them, majority of them have not been touched. So this purple is the first time I'm touching. The pink was not, obviously the white was not as well. The white I have used quite some time now, but the greens, the blues, the purples, the different shades of blues I have in there, and the other pinky shades I have not touched before. So they're all brand new, so I am still going to experiment and see what kind of different flowers I can create. And it's quite nice to have that range of colors, because it's all kind of dependent on the base color you're using. So if you're using a blue, you probably wouldn't want to go in with a blue flower, but you could go in with a white and create a cool contrast, or, you know, all sorts of other things. So it's the same technique. I'm just doing that white and purple, rolling it up onto my hand and then placing it down, and then using my silicone tool to kind of press it into what I'd like. So this this nail ends up having 3 flowers. I did end up doing that middle flower on camera, and then that pinky little, well, not pinky, I can't even talk anymore, I'm so sorry guys, that small little crystal at the bottom I ended up doing off camera. I found that one actually quite difficult to do, so I had to go off camera. And this middle flower, I wasn't actually also too keen. I don't know what went wrong there. The flowers felt quite far away from the crystal, which is one of those kind of issues that you could have whilst placing the crystal down first before your carving gels, but you can also pat it down until it is basically touching one another. So, you know, it's the beauty in this carving gel that you can actually move it about until you're happy. But yeah, I just felt like it was a bit too far for my liking, but that's okay. It still came out super cute. And then, yeah, like I said, the bottom flower I ended up doing off camera, so I'll show you guys in a moment what it would look like. Here we go. So that's the bottom flower done. And I feel like this one is so cute. Of course, this is quite a match. Like, there's a lot of flowers going on, but maybe if they were smaller, would have looked super, super nice. Here's me just quickly showing you what it could look like on your finger. But yeah, I think they are absolutely gorgeous. There's so much creativity, like possibility of creativity with these kind of gels, and especially if you are not so familiar with acrylic, this is absolutely the go-to. And yeah, just I definitely recommend this company. I've been using them for quite some time. The white, as you saw, is almost out and I've been loving it to pieces. So I'll link everything down in the description. I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.